Good morning, YouTube. Does anyone remember this wallpaper? The older Windows 8 wallpaper. Anyway, I thought I liked it, so I changed my background. Okay, so today we're going to look at a performance-based question about wireless network security. Um, Here's an example from a practice exam. There's going to be drop-down items that look like this. We're going to go over each selection and take a look at different possible answers, maybe explaining some of them, why you should choose them and why not, how you can get a better answer, and yeah, just review a lot of topics. So this is for the CompTIA Security Plus 701 exam. The topic is wireless network security. It is a drop-down performance-based question. Okay, let's get started. So for each drop-down item, here's the topic: enterprise authentication mode, wireless network mode, wireless channel settings, security mode, algorithm, and channel throughput. Okay, so let's talk about each one. I have different infographics and different slides to look at. Make this a little bit bigger. Cool. So authentication, how do we authenticate? Um, so if you're going to be using a certificate, we use TLS or X, or extended authentication protocol between a server that requires a certificate and a client. So these are more enterprise grade, but at a home network, you're going to see like WPA, WPA 2 and 3. Um, so that's more common in the office versus home environment. Okay, here are some different Wi-Fi, I guess you can call them numbers, 4, 5, 6. They're different standards, N, AC, and AX. They do have different features, right? Generally speaking, Wi-Fi 6 is going to be faster and better, has the different frequencies. Um, and then you can just look at the different columns and see how different they are. For example, 5 doesn't have 2.4 frequency. Um, they all have MIMO or multiple input, multiple output, meaning that they can send and receive data at the same time. Makes the throughput much quicker. Ranges are different. Okay, I won't go into too much detail. It's not the Network Plus exam. We're going to focus more on security concepts once we have the instructions. Okay, different bands, their frequencies, their channels, why you would choose a certain band over others. Here are the older 2.4, right? Yeah. And then there's going to be different bands for the 5G as well. And you can see the channels here are much higher. Here's like what, 1 through 14. Okay, here is starting from 36, goes up to like 100 plus. So I wanted to look at this graph to know the encryption types and to know the key size as well. So for the older ones, they're using like RC4 or the key interpol exchange protocol. And then here you have an advanced decryption standard, CCMP or TCMP. I know that TCMP is newer for WPA3, K, and then here's the level of security. WEP is incredibly insecure. The IVs were cracked a long time ago, and it displays the key after you have so many IVs. WPA3 is the most secure but susceptible to a dictionary attack if you capture a handshake. Little bit more information about the key size here, but similar to above. Yep, tells you which encryption for which one and protocol. Okay, keep going. I wanted to know what's the difference between GCMP or Gallowis. Gallowis is a newer one. CBC, cipher block ping is the older one. So you're going to see that in WPA3, probably seeing this in older ones like WPA2. Okay, throughputs, channel bandwidth. So knowing how far that it extends and how much that it can throughput in the network or how fast it is. So Wi-Fi 6 is stronger and then different throughputs for different standards. Okay, here are the instructions. Finally, we're getting to the PBQ. Thanks for hanging in there. You're a network security engineer tasked to install a wireless network. You should value security over convenience. The network should be separate from the production corporate network and is exclusive to employees. Guests cannot have access. You are tasked as follows. A little grammar issue. Okay, use an authentication method that enforces the company's PKI or public key infrastructure already in use. Enforce usage of next generation Wi-Fi for the strongest possible security. Select a channel structure and throughput level that assures speed and availability. Select a strong security mode and encryption algorithm that enforce confidentiality and integrity, enforce protected management frames to adhere to WPA3 standards with the SSID hidden. Okay, so shout out to Super Mario Fan Stick 5. I liked your DeviantArt. We're gonna secure King Boo's wireless network. Yep, had to have some Mario in there. Okay, so we value security over convenience. We're going to be using enterprise grade for an office. This is not a home setup. So which one of these would be the best possible security choice? Um, let's eliminate things that we know are wrong, things that could not possibly be correct. So we know that we can eliminate this guy. Usually I do a strikeout, but it's okay. I'm not used to, oh, there we go, it's format. Here we go. Alt Shift 5. Okay, I'll have to try that next. Alt Shift 5. So we have to use encryption, so open, no way. Pre-shared key, Alt Shift 5. Boom. Okay, very unlikely we're going to be using PSK, so that's for our home office setup kind of deal. SAE is the kind of algorithm that's used in WPA3. Um, authentication of equals. I know it's used in WPA3, PAKE. We have these two here are enterprise authentications. So even it says here enterprise authentication mode. I know these two look way more appealing. Um, here would be a client-side certificate talking to the server, and here you would have authentication between a server and a client. I like this one a bit more. That's probably offering the better form of security. So I'm going to lean towards that side. Okay, so you saw that I eliminated two. I'm not even sure what PAKE is, but I'm going to lean towards this one because I know that's enterprise. It's a bit better option than this one if I'm going to be using a remote access style in user system. Okay, next one. Wireless network mode. So we saw that there were different grades and different Wi-Fi numbers, 4, 5, 6. It also says mixed mode. We want security over convenience. So we want the best possible security. We want the latest and the greatest. So that should kind of help you already. Things that we can eliminate. Can we eliminate any of these? Well, you don't want mixing things. You want the best possible security. If you downgrade maybe some authentication or some encryption, that can cause problems later. Let's lean towards Wi-Fi 6 because that has the latest encryption technologies, uses 192A Galeas, whatever that encryption algorithm is called, but doesn't use CCMP. I do remember that. Okay, so that's more secure. Should Wi-Fi be hidden? Yes or no? Okay, teacher Mikey, Coach Mikey is very opinionated about this. I think that hiding Wi-Fi is stupid. If you're a hacker, you're going to have all these tools to see all the SSIDs broadcasting, regardless if they're hidden or not. So I think this is very silly. So hiding your Wi-Fi is just going to hide it from the average person. But if you have the tools, then you can see it no matter what. Slightly happy. All right, so CompTIA, you're very funny. I wouldn't teach my students that this is important. This is just so trivial and silly, but we have to put it on here. Okay. So let's go ahead and hide the Wi-Fi because that's what CompTIA wants. But in the real world, it doesn't matter. Keep that in mind. Cool. Next one, channel settings. Do you remember what kind of channel we should use? Which one's more secure? We saw earlier in those graphs that 2.4 uses a band channel between 1 to 13, but using the 5 gigahertz uses up to hundreds. Which one's more secure? Which one's better? Well, on this older one, you're going to collide more often. In this newer one, you're going to collide less often, probably going to have less issues with bands overlapping, collisions, issues with things like that. So that's improved. You're going to get better performance and better security, probably. So I'm going to lean towards that one. Security mode. Uh, we saw earlier this is a corporate office, right? Does this help? Well, like earlier, I eliminated things that was used at the home office or personal. So I'm gonna wipe that out. We're not using personal encryption. So SAE, I talked about that already. I'm gonna lean towards WPA3 enterprise grade. Okay, next. Okay, algorithm, the size of the key. How big a bit should the size be? The bigger is the better. So we can already eliminate the smaller one. Okay, 50-50. We saw earlier that WPA2 uses CCMP, but WPA3 uses GCMP, which is newer and more secure. So I'm going to lean towards that one. Cool. Channel throughput. Here, I was a bit iffy because I wasn't sure if that we wanted to keep it secure. You don't want it to be too high because then more people can connect to your wireless network. So I wasn't sure if it should be in the middle or lower. Hmm. Well, if it's just a guest network for people in the building, it doesn't need to extend too far. I'm gonna lean toward 20 megahertz. Okay. So this is pretty impromptu. Not sure which ones are correct or not. I do have an answer key, so let's take a look. Let's put this back to 100. Okay, that's what it looked like earlier. Pause your video. Are you ready? Did you do all of the tasks? Okay, here are the answers. EAP, TLS, and then was it radius? What did we put? Yeah, cool. So we're using certificate on client side and server side where remote access dial-in user system. That's going to be the highest level of security to authenticate both sides. Okay, cool. That one. Wi-Fi 6 offers the best security, the best encryption. Great. I remember I chose that one. We hide the SSID. I told you that that was very silly, that we shouldn't really worry about that. It's kind of dumb because hackers can see that anyway with all of their tools, like I don't know, Air, Crack NG, and all that stuff. Wireless channel settings. Yep, we want the 5 gigahertz. We want all those bands, hundreds of channels, less collision, less problems. Um, MPF or management protection frames. I didn't even have that question in there, but yep, if you had selected that, that should be enabled. WPA3 Enterprise, great. I remember I chose that one. Um, 192 AES, Calois, GCMP or GMP. That is the newest encryption algorithm using WPA3, so that worked. And I missed this question, the three-put settings. It should be very high. Um, okay, I'll have to go back and study more because I missed that one. But pretty cool. I got most of those. I feel good. Thank you for watching. Did you guys like this PBQ? Did you kind of like the infographics before I taught and kind of get a little bit of a preview or feeling of what's coming up? Was that a good study warm up? Did you guys like this way of learning? Please like, subscribe, and comment in the video. Tell me what you like. Thank you so much for watching, and good luck on your studies out there. Take care.